short. But Seager's a free agent this year. Trey Turner is not. So they're probably going to end up. They'll keep. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Seager or not, but for sure they'll have Trey Turner for all of next year. So and then Serger, that was just insane.
Yeah, today was crazy. Well, yesterday and today, everything.
Have you all seen anything like this in recent times? This kind of big kind of dealing, like this kind of, just coming out of the gate the last 48 hours. Well, anytime recently?
The closest 2 years I can think of is like back in 2010. And then probably 2016, some teams got aggressive, but I don't think anything at this level. I think, that the 2015, 2016, 17, those 3 years of rookie classes were all under, 4 and 5 year contracts. And we're seeing a lot of those come loose right now. And it was just, it just got crazy quick. Like I knew the Cubs were going to be sellers and we were going to see some nonsense, but man, my heart about burst last night when they announced the Rizzo. I thought him and Contreras were going to be the only two safe. I really didn't think they were going to get traded. It's crazy.
So let me ask you this. Go ahead, Mark.
I didn't think that Rizzo was going to get traded either. I thought that he might be the holdover that stays and they sign him long term.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to be a lifer, and was going to be kind of that Sandberg mentality. He was going to retire a Cub, which he still could, They could re-sign everybody. I just don't think they will.
Yeah. Rizzo's your guy, didn't that at the UPC?
Yep, that's about 90% of my PC.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've hated the Yankees my entire life, and now I've got to root.
Now you're
the
biggest
Yankees.
fan.
I'm going to be a bandwagon. I mean, I'm not giving up my Cubs. I still got that, but there's going to probably be some Yankee apparel in my future because I got to follow Rizzo and give him some love. But it's going to be hard to do.
Rizzo's a free agent after this year.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, I think it was Contreras, Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, and there was. I thought maybe Hendricks.
Hendricks. I think Hendricks.
What's that?
Was Kimbrel?
No, Kimbrel isn't until after 2022. I think 2022 or 2023. That's why he got a little bit more in his trade deal because there was like a year or two of control for him there. But it, we all knew it. We just didn't want to admit it. That it, they were probably going to sell all these guys. It was easier to think about than actually see it happen today.
So let me ask you the first question I have, and I mean Mark can maybe speak to this too. But since this happened to you just today or in the last 36 hours, so as a player collector, Mark alluded to that Rizzo's your guy. I've been to your house. I can speak to the fact that Rizzo, is probably like, Rizzo and then like everybody else, I would assume in your collection, right? So for you being a player collector and then being that like all in on Rizzo, how does it affect you moving forward as far as a Cubs fan, a Rizzo fan? You kind of alluded to being like, buying some stuff with Yankees. Like, does it kind of make you still want to buy his cards from a pure hobby perspective? Are you still going to be chasing his like Yankees cards? Or are you going to focus on him just on the Cubs? Maybe it makes it easier for you now because they're going to stop making Cubs cards of him for the time being. So have you thought about this at all, or where are you at with that?
Yeah, so actually I've battled with this all day today. Really like how I'm going to plan to go forward. And this is going to sound weird, but So before Rizzo, I always collected Topps rookie cards. And anyone that's ever watched my channel knows I like to have the Topps base rookie cards of all superstars and Hall of Famers. With, when Rizzo came along, my focus really geared towards Rizzo, and I kind of super collected him. Excuse me. And I would still go after the Topps rookie cards, but not near as intense as I went after Rizzo cards. Now with him being on the Yankees, it'll probably boil down to I might pick up a cool card here and there or whatever I pack pull. But for the most part, it'll probably be sit on the collection I have and refocus back to putting that money towards my graded base Topps rookie cards I like to collect. So in a sense, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because now I can go after a lot of the Hall of Famers that I wanted that before my budget was half of what it was because half of that was going towards Rizzo, the other half towards everything else.
Sure.
So now I feel it's probably going to be 95 and 5. 95 towards rookie cards and then 5% for a cool Rizzo here and there. But it's going to be hard with that Yankees. I know it's going to be rough.
You'll end up wanting all the Yankee Rizzo stuff, especially if he has like a couple big years hitting home runs out there in right field. You'll jump back on his wagon and want his new stuff.
It'll be tough, man. I mean, I'll always be a fan of him and I'll always root for his success. But it's going to be hard. I was thinking about it today. I was like, I'll probably pick up like maybe a Rizzo jersey to have to wear personally. But then I saw him in the press conference wearing that Yankees T-shirt, the Nike, Yankees baseball T-shirt. I was like, man, that doesn't look good at all. I don't like it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can wear those gang signs around town.
So let me ask you, Mark. So obviously the Mets have a couple guys on loan. Basically, it sounds like it. They could sign them, but they have a couple guys on loan. So as a Mets fan, or just in the how you feel like, can you get excited knowing that your team has a couple guys on loan for the rest of the season, or do you feel like, hey, whatever it takes to win? Or do you invest much, time, effort, maybe money into the hobby, collecting certain guys if they're only going to be there for a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I won't spend any money buying Baez stuff. I've got a bunch of his stuff. I got a bunch of his rookie cards already. But to tell you the truth, I really don't like Baez. He's just too damn cocky for me. I mean, he's pretty cocky, arrogant player. He is able to back it up. As long as I'm going to root for him because he's on the Mets, and I hope he produces because we're going to need everything we can just to hang on to this lead in the NL East to make the playoffs. So every year, that's my goal. That's what I want the Mets to make the playoffs every year. Been 2016 or 17 was last year last time they made the playoffs. They were in World Series in 15 and lost to the Royals. Then they made the playoffs again in 16, and I think they made it in 17. I can't remember, but it's been a little bit of a drought for them. But yeah, what do you think about Baez?
So this is going to sound bad as a Cubs fan. I think he's amazing defensively. I think he's a liability at the bat. And getting on base, he strikes out way too much. It's kind of all or nothing with him. You're either getting a home run or he's getting out. Very rarely is he base hitting, and it's hard. This is where the moment of being a Cubs fan and collecting kind of collides, because even with my PC on like Rizzo stuff, there's a lot of stuff I don't have just because of the pricing of it. The Cubs are always going to be one of those teams that get a ton of hobby love, and our fans are loyal, diehard to the players, but we overrate our players a little bit. You ask any Cubs fan, is Baez a top 10 shortstop in Major League Baseball? Every one of them will say, yeah, without a doubt. Me, I would say probably not. Defensively, yeah, absolutely, probably top 5. batting, not at all. Not even in the top 50, probably.
Yeah, that's
So
why I was disappointed they didn't get Bryant instead of Baez, because Bryant this year he's got like 14 home runs, he's got 50 RBIs, and I think he's batting 270, 280, somewhere in there. I really wanted him. Actually, I wanted him 2000 when they were talking about trading in 2019. I wanted him to come over to the Mets, but that didn't happen because he's really versatile. He can put him anywhere, but we need a third baseman.
yeah,
JD Davis has been hurt most of the year. He came back, and he's played well since he came back. But I really wanted Bryant instead of Baez, and then Bryant also. I think they could have maybe signed him to a long-term deal. I don't think they're going to sign Baez to a long-term deal, but it was kind of cool that Baez, him and Lindor are friends, so it was pretty cool that he said, yeah, if I go to the Mets, get to play with Lindor, I'll move over and play second. So I don't know how long he'll want to play second. That's why one reason I don't think they're going to sign him long term is just going to be around and have because Lindor's there, and of course the curse of the Mets. Anytime we got anybody good that was spectacular anywhere else, they come to New York and they always suck. and Lindor's just not playing well this year at all.
Yeah,
he's been hard to watch this year.
So there's kind of two parts of my opinion with that. I think the Mets, with getting Baez or Bryant, almost a liability both ways. I mean, and I'm going to have a lot of Cubs fans mad at me for saying this, but Baez liability at the bat. Yeah, he'll probably hit this year if he goes over to New York and does well. He's probably going to tag on 10, 12 more home runs before the end of the season. I mean, that's a real good possibility. The guy can mash when he actually gets into a rhythm. The thing with Bryant, when he's healthy, MVP caliber baseball player. You were talking about JD Davis being hurt. Chris Bryant's always been, to me as a Cubs fan, I was not a real big fan of his just because he's always been kind of an Aaron Judge to me. He has all the talent in the world, but he just, he just for some reason his body can't hold up. We very rarely get a full healthy season of him playing an excellent caliber. I think we've had 2 real seasons where he's been healthy all the way through and played MVP caliber baseball. He gets injury prone, and then it always seems like when he's injured, his swing goes, like he's still able to field, he's still able to do everything else. He just can't hit. He gets in these slumps. So there's part of me that kind of wonders, like, is that an excuse for when he's in a slump, or is he actually injured? I mean, so I don't know. I think, everybody says those 2 guys were the best picks. I know obviously I'm biased towards Rizzo as a fan, but Rizzo's consistent. He's healthy. You know what you're getting out of him. This year's been a down year for him. Definitely batting average wise, but I think that'll change when he gets in New York and he has that short fence and right.
Well, Victor said he already hit a home run tonight, so there you go.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he didn't waste much time.
Yeah. I think him.
The Yankees.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say he's going to do better than any other Yankee at first base this year. I think they were testing on TV. The average batting average for the first baseman for the Yankees have been 211, and I forgot how many home runs, but it wasn't very many home runs. So he's definitely an upgrade for them at first base. So I think he's going to help them for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think he's definitely got the potential to be a long-term guy for them. You really look at their offense. To me, a lot of people kind of grazed over it, but I thought he was the perfect fit. As much as I hate to see him go there, it just seems like you got a guy that's first base. He's platinum glove material, gold glove at least for him. So defensively, he's going to be a superstar. But then even if he only hits, say he has a rough couple of years, if he bats 260, 250, 260, and still swats 25 home runs, he's going to be the best first baseman they've had in the last decade. Easy, So I think a lot of people just kind of grazed over that. That's what I've always loved about Rizzo is he was like Mr. Consistency. You knew exactly what you were going to get. You were going to get a guy that showed up that batted about 275, 280, and he was going to hit you 30 dingers a year, and he was going to have a high on base average. I think often, and then you were going to get a Gold Glove first baseman. So I've always argued, like to me, if you had the chance to get a Anthony Rizzo or a Freddie Freeman at your first base, because I have always thought those guys were very comparable stat wise. Like, how could you go wrong, or why would you trade them? Like, you're not going to get another. You're not going to find another better one in the MLB. You know what I mean? That's going to be that consecutive flat stat line for you.
So what do you all? So what do you all think? What do you all think when it comes to? Have you all followed most of the trades up to today? Have you all followed most of the trades?
Yeah.
So I know we talked, and we can go. Obviously, we can go back. We can go back to the Cubs here in a second. But I thought just to switch gears for just a second. What team do you think had the sleeper get of the trade deadline? Who do you think kind of got traded, maybe under the radar? That's going to help not only themselves but their team tremendously going forward. Because everybody's talking about the Rizzo, everybody's talking about Max Scherzer, everybody's talking. There's like obviously these are big moves, and no one's like surprised where they're going. But do you all have any suggestions or ideas or thoughts about maybe a sleeper trade?
Eddie Rosario to the Braves, and then the Braves. I think they got Soler too, didn't they? Jose Soler?
Yeah, they picked up Jorge Soler. If they get 2019 Soler, that's going to be dangerous. They're at playoff time.
Yeah, because I really like Rosario for the I really liked him. I like him as a player. So the Braves, that's two guys that I think could definitely be sleepers. And then Kyle Schwarber to the Red Sox, because he was tearing it up before his hamstring injury right before the All-Star break. That's another one that I think that was a really good pickup was the Red Sox picking up Schwarber.
The only thing I didn't see, I saw all the trades. I guess I just didn't put it in my memory bank or didn't pay attention. Did the Red Sox pick up any pitching?
I think they did. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, let's take a look because I don't remember hearing anything huge, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
They picked up a reliever, Hansel Robles. That's all I picked up was reliever. If you ask me, the Yankees, man, should have picked up some sort of pitching because all their starters, man, just. But if they score enough runs, but I think they're like 8 out of the division or 9 out of the division, and I don't know how many out of the wild card, but the Yankees needed some pitching. I was kind of surprised that I didn't see too much pitching with them getting any pitchers.
Yeah, I was talking with my younger brother last night after the Rizzo trade. He's a huge Yankees fan. I think he does it just to spite me, but he's definitely a huge Yankees fan, and he was kind of ragging on the trades. Like he was happy about Gallo. He thought Rizzo was a bad trade for them. And he was really disappointed that they hadn't gone after any of the big pitchers out there and made any real moves towards that. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know with these teams because you don't know what they have in their pipeline or what up their sleeve as far as pulling somebody up or So looking at a cursory view, you would think the Yankees really screwed the pooch by not bringing any pitching in because Garrett Cole can't get there by himself.
Yeah, another good one is the Blue Jays picked up Jose Barrios from the Twins. I was hoping maybe the Mets, if they didn't get Bryant,
Andrew Haney
was going to go and work and try to get Josh Donaldson and Barrios from the Twins is what I was hoping, but. The Red Sox the Blue Jays picked him up. He's a really good pitcher.
So what do you think about the Blue Jays trade with Barrios with giving up Austin? Is it Martin? Is that his name? their top prospect, Austin Martin?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hell, they're loaded, dude. I mean, they've got so many dang good players that, they can afford it. They can afford it. And then who knows if Austin Martin pans out or not. You never know. Just kind of like I was so pissed when the Mets traded Jared Clarnick in that Robinson Cano deal with the what's our name, Diaz, our reliever. He's Robinson Cano didn't want him, but we really needed that reliever. But the first 2 years, the first year he really sucked. He got better during the last year. This year he's been really good. He's been an all-star closer. But Jared Clarnick is just tearing it up in the minor leagues. Now, granted, every time we called him up for Seattle, he's played like crap. Back to 200 or under, and then send him back. Now he's back up again. He still ain't doing anything. So you just never know how these prospects are gonna pan out.
100% on that. His transition with the Mariners has been very rough. A lot of people still talk about him, especially with the Mets, and I'm like, I kind of feel like you guys dodged a bullet there. Like as much as I don't. Well, he could change my mind. He could come back and just be a rock star next year, but you never know. That's the thing.
Yeah. That whole trade just made, especially that when he was just blowing in every save when he first got over to the Mets. That whole trade just, because I didn't want Cano in the first place, but he's on the PED list, I guess. I don't know if he'll play next year or not. I got no clue. But he's getting up there in age.
Yeah. What do you think of like some of the sleeper teams that kind of snuck through under the radar here, like the Astros? They picked up some pitchers, didn't do anything crazy, didn't sign any crazy big names. And I feel like a lot of people are overlooking how stacked that team is. Like the only hole they have is center field, and that's really not a hole.
Who's out in center field? Isn't Kyle Tucker? Is he in center field?
No, I think he's right field. I don't know the kid's name. They have a rookie.
Okay.
They have a rookie in center field because they traded their center fielder today. And
they've got
the kid they've alternated with is a rookie, and I can't think of his name. But even if he doesn't produce, if he can catch the ball, the rest of that team is so freaking good at producing. Yeah.
And then they're doing it without third baseman. Bregman.
Yeah.
Bregman, yeah.
They're doing that without him. So they got that. I think it's Toro. He's a rookie starter.
Oh, Abraham Toro.
He's had a pretty good year. Joey Votto is hitting a home run.
Did he? What is that? Like 7 games straight now? I think
he did. That's why I just gotta hang on. I just got a text from my friend said he hit a home run, but he's on first base. He couldn't have hit a home run.
Shortest home run ever.
He's a big Red fan. So the record is 8. There's several players has 8. Well, your boy Don Mattingly, Zombie, is part of that 8 straight home run deal.
Is he still coaching down in Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's their manager. Yeah, Mattingly. There you go. I hope my phone is charging.
Something totally weird here that's going to be ridiculous. My whole life, every time I look at Don Mattingly, all I think of is Patrick Swayze. I don't know why. It just comes to my mind every single time I see a card of him.
He's like a pot of clay, and he's just like molding it.
I was thinking more like cool Patrick Swayze, like Roadhouse Patrick Swayze.
Like Roadhouse or Next of Kin Patrick Swayze. Right.
There you go.
I feel you. That's better. I think that's more of a appropriate. So kind of piggyback a little bit what Sean was saying. I'll throw this out there. He was talking about the Astros. What team do you think is in the thick of it? They might be sleeping right now. Either they picked up somebody or they didn't. But maybe the people aren't really looking at, because like you said we're talking about the Red Sox, we're talking about the Toronto Blue Jays, we're talking about the Dodgers. These are all teams that kind of like are in the conversation. But is there anybody you all think that's kind of like in the wings is waiting to make the right move as far as it's like start pushing towards September that people aren't really paying attention to?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's good.
Yeah. I think Milwaukee, to me, like my two sleeper picks, they're not really sleepers, but I feel like in the media they are, and that's Milwaukee and Houston. I think those two teams are just, you can't overlook them. There's just too much talent on those teams.
Victor said the Oakland A's he thinks is overlooked all the time, and they always end up being there.
Yeah, that's what it's going to say. But Milwaukee is up 7 games up in their division in first place. Houston is up 5.5 games over Oakland, but Houston is 63-40. So I mean, they're tearing it up, dude.
Yeah.
What's the Dodgers? What's the Dodgers record?
I think the Dodgers are 500.
Second place behind the Giants. The Giants are in first place in the West. The Dodgers are three games behind the Giants. Dodgers record is 62-42.
So that's telling me, obviously. So that's telling me, which obviously I haven't been paying that much attention to baseball, but so the Giants, no one's really. I haven't heard anyone talk about the Giants the entire year. You all, neither one mentioned them this entire time until now. So does people think the Giants are just going to fall off at the end of the season? Or are they the real McCoy? Like, kind of, what are you all thoughts about them?
To me, I just don't know.
I thought by the All-Star break they would not be leading the division anymore. They are off to a fast start and just has never stopped. I guess I don't know the name of the pitcher, but they got their pitchers, one of the best ERAs in the National League. I forgot his name. I don't know how they're doing it. And to be honest, I haven't really looked at any of their stats or players or anything like that. I guess this is a team, they just win, kind of like the Rays. The Rays are my second favorite team, they just win. But yeah, the Giants are a total surprise. But I don't think they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs. I mean, the Dodgers are just stacked now with You got to figure, I got Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw and Walker Buehler. And,
think of that 1, 2, 3 right there. How do you win a series against them?
Yeah,
you don't.
And even if you beat one of those guys, then you got to play Dustin May, and then you got who's their other two? They got 2 more. That's right. Who's the other 2 aces?
Urias? Is Julio Urias still there?
Yep.
Yeah. Dustin May's out for the year, but Urias is very solid. He's really good.
It's just, how do you win a series? I mean, I could see taking a game or 2 from them, but how do you beat them in a series? That's just
going to be tough.
And you got they're 1-2 right there. Both guys that are capable of going 7 solid innings against you. Yeah, Scherzer is known to give up a home run, but no one's ever on base. The guy, he's just lights out. And Kershaw. So outside of them winning the World Series last year, I've always thought Kershaw was a kind of a liability like John Lester. I think he's really good, but once he gets rattled, he doesn't recover. Last year he did. He kind of proved that wrong. But years prior, I've always thought that. Like, if you just go ahead.
So last year, he kind of redeemed himself a little bit.
Sure. I thought for sure he kind of proved me wrong, but
but you got to think about
still makes you
some of those. Wonder. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you got to think about with Kershaw. Some of those games that he had, like, he got shelled. We know those are the Houston games that they were able to, like, know what was being pitched before it was going. So sometimes, and I'm not trying to say like every time he ever played a playoff game that he got in a jam that kind of thing was happening, but I'm sure that messes with your psyche. And then, of course, when you're obviously cheating, it doesn't help the matter, So
yeah,
I don't want to put it all on him, but we all know that series, because the same thing happened to Darvish. Darvish got shelled, in that World Series, and then he wasn't the same pitcher for years. Yeah. And then he finally, when he finally got to the Cubs, he was told he finally found himself again. But I mean, it took him a while. But I mean, I'm sure it does a number on you.
Yeah. It took him a year in Chicago.
Well, Darvish, he was tipping his pitches, and then he kind of fixed that. But then Did he pitch against the Astros also when they were cheating? Darvish?
Yeah.
I have no
I
idea.
can't remember.
I don't remember. I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah,
He was
2018 or 17. Yeah, because he was
tipping pitches, and then the next year I think the Astros were cheating.
So here's a question for you guys, and
But
for you, Mark, if you watched the trade today, what in the world are the Rockies doing? Not are you saying they're going to resign? No, they said they were going to resign him. I don't. Why? Why not let the guy go and go after a championship? What's your thoughts on that?
Unless they're trying to maybe trade into Colorado to build around him, I don't know, dude. And then they must be pretty darn confident they can re-sign him in free agency if they didn't trade him. So they must be pretty confident that they can they'll be able to get him back, because if not, they just missed the opportunity to pick up some more prospects, and because you're going to get nothing for him. And you look at, I don't know where they have the standings, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're
right there with the Angels probably, and the Pirates.
They're giving Trevor Story a stack of cash and about 5 pounds of Pineapple Express to get him to stay.
Well, they should have all the money in the world because they don't freaking have anybody else they're paying.
Yeah, they're fourth in the West. They're 44-59. Yeah,
so they're just crushing.
I guess they think they can resign. Yeah, I guess they.
Yeah, I don't know. That blew my mind today. I thought for sure he was going to be a big one. But the fact they didn't.
And the Yankees were rumored to be in on him.
Yeah, which that one kind of threw me off. Like, granted, I think Trevor Story is amazing, but to me that feels kind of lateral with LeMahieu. Like, I know he's having kind of a down season, but he's so consistent, especially getting on base, batting .310.
Yeah, they've been playing LeMahieu.
Is it just me or is Mark frozen?
No, he's frozen. Is that Kentucky tin can internet? Yeah. That hamster fell off the wheel, Mark.
Am I back?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I back or no?
Yep. You have to go tell Taylor to keep on, pulling the wheel to keep doing it. You're like, Taylor, quit! Don't slow down. Keep going, sweetheart. We're going to keep cranking that wheel. So
that's awesome.
Oh my gosh!
Back.
Oh my gosh, that tin can internet. That's what happens when you're a UK fan.
Oh, don't mind me for a minute. My cat decided he wants to be
Jason, have you been watching baseball here lately or no?
No, haven't really watched it all. I mean, I watched a hot minute of the World Series. I'm sorry, the All-Star game. My son wanted to watch because he wanted to see Ohtani pitch and hit. That was a big deal for him, so we watched it, and then we did that for 20, 30 minutes, and that was about the extent of it.
Look at that feller!
Look at this!
Did you watch
now school's in session, boys. Ray's here.
What's going on, Ray?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Not too shabby.
Yeah, crazy day in baseball, huh?
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about. Just kind of talking.
What's up, Ray?
So I was gonna ask this question, and now that Ray's here, I know he could talk to this about Ichiro and maybe other players, but I know especially with you, Sean, is that going from the Cubs to the Yankees. We always talk about involving the hobby. A certain player going from a small market team or a team that doesn't have a big following going to a huge team completely can change the way people collect and his prices. The Cubs are a big team. People love the Cubs. It's around the United States, but the Yankees are even bigger. So do you see like somebody like Rizzo's prices going up, or do you see them like staying the same? And kind of like what's been the experience over the years with like even Ichiro? He went from the Mariners to the Yankees, and stuff like that. So what do you all think about how it affects the hobby? Is it like a quick thing like that and then it kind of fizzles out, or does it like keep going?
For the way this trade is, because it's a rental at this point, I think it will stay pretty stagnant until we see what happens, either the playoffs or re-signing or a contract extension.
Okay.
I don't think Rizzo's going to go straight to New York and the fans are just going to open arm love him. I think they're going to be a little bit standoffish until they see what they got and how long they're going to have it. At least that's what I think, but I've been wrong before. Ask my wife.
So Victor said that it's just in the matter of, I guess, a day or so that he's already starting to see Rizzo prices going up. I don't know if he means like across like, the interwebs or maybe just like New York or what. So maybe Victor, you can kind of explain, but
I did see, so I'm looking at a 2011 update Cognac Rizzo and a PSA 10. Over the last year, this card got crazy and got up to like $450 at one point, but a realistic price is like $350 for that. I did see that, and they don't come up for sale very often. I did see one came up for sale last night on YouTube, and it was listed at $1,500. Now, selling for that, I have my doubts, but I did see somebody listed at that. They're banking on the Yankee fanhood coming in, but I don't know. I don't know who's going to pay that. I wouldn't.
Right. Victor is saying his rookies and some of his autos seem to already be overpriced. So I'm sure you, as a person who collects Rizzo before all this happened, can probably say that maybe that's true. Like, but in general, I'm assuming a lot of the guys that are playing right now that are actually really good or having a good season, their prices are already high because that's just the world we live in right now with the ball cards.
Yeah. Yeah, with Rizzo, for sure, as being a collector of him. And then that, I took a 4-month hiatus from YouTube. This is the first time I've been back on YouTube in 4 months because I just got so frustrated that I wasn't buying anything.
Sure.
It's hard to go buy something when that it's just overpriced. Like, there's no way that card is that price. And at least to me, it might be going price right now. I just don't see it sustainable, and I'm just not a fan of blowing money, and not looking to try to make money off my cards, but I don't want to blow money on my cards either,
Sure.
So I just I haven't been making many videos because I didn't want to keep pumping out 2-3 videos a week, just going, hey guys, back again. Didn't buy anything this week. Prices are ridiculous.
Right. Stay tuned next week.
Yeah, stay tuned and see if I buy.
Yeah. Same bat time, same bat channel.
For sure.
Oh man. So I was going to ask you, Ray, a little bit. Obviously, you're a Ichiro super collector. Seattle Mariners is not a big market at all for like players. Aside from Griffey Jr., no one really, I don't think, really collects a lot of Seattle Mariner cards. So when Ichiro went to the Yankees, did you see at all at the time a premium of his cards going up, like cost wise, because that was kind of a big deal at the time, or was there much of a change at all?
I think he had a lot of people, that the diehard Yankee fans, they back their team pretty well. So I think he had some people trying to dump some stuff because, I know a lot of guys that they only collect Ichiro in Seattle uniform, but I decided to follow him through all his journey through all the teams. But some guys just didn't collect past those years, and then some of them, once he left, they decided to just dump him, and since he wasn't on the team anymore, and just get rid of everything. But
that's when you come in for the kill.
Yeah. Some of those guys, just I mean, as a Cubs fan, this is just I mean, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. What happened today? I was talking to my buddy. I hope MLB is not turning into the NBA where these start building these super teams. That's not going to be good for Major League Baseball.
Well, what was that? What was that? A historical event with like Al Capone, where it was like Bloody Tuesday or something? Everybody was getting killed in Chicago. That's going to happen. That's what today's going to be called. The news because of the Cubs.
That was Valentine's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, Valentine's Day Massacre, right? So there you go. So it's going to be something. It's going to be like that. It'll be like MLB Deadline Massacre, Trade Massacre, or whatever.
I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a video clip of Chris Bryant when he got notified that he got traded. I've only seen it on Twitter so far, but it's him and there's some other guy. I don't know if he's a player, but he works with the organization, and he's physically on his phone on one end of the dugout. It's just two of them. He walks over, they kind of give a high five, they clap, and then Chris Bryant starts crying. Both of them start crying. Yeah, he covers his eyes, and then he just turns around and looks out at the stadium like one last time, and then walks down in the tunnel. It was sad.
Yeah, for sure. And on the business side of it, did we need to do some moving and shaking? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think there was better ways to do it? Absolutely.
Right.
But yeah, I guess the hopeful side of me wants to say, look, guys, we can always re-sign one or two of these guys in the off season. I don't know if we will or not, and this might be the end of the dynasty completely, but it's a hard one to wrap my brain around. To me, I'm sitting there just looking at like, even getting rid of one of them makes sense. I get it. But all three of them, like now, who or what are you building around?
Where did Chris Bryant go?
Giants.
San Francisco.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I missed that. So they all three of their core dudes are gone except Contreras, basically.
Yep.
And the closer.
Craig Kimbrell went to the White Sox.
Oh my gosh, man! It really was a massacre. I was just kind of half kidding, but man.
Yeah, so basically it's going to be Kyle Hendricks.
The San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
It'll be Kyle Hendricks and Wilson Contreras are our future.
It's gonna be odd seeing him in orange and black.
So did the Cubs get a ton of great prospects for all these guys, or what was the trade-off? Because obviously you're not getting rid of your like 3 or 4 of your best guys literally in the last decade and change, hopefully for peanuts.
Well, they got 2 solid ones with Craig Kimbrell from the White Sox, Cody Hewer and Nick Madrigal. Even though Madrigal's out for the rest of the season, he's a solid second baseman, so I can see where he'll fit, and they'll probably use Horner at shortstop now, which I don't know why. I think Horner's a really good ball player. He has no pop. Madrigal, he's kind of the same player. So I could be wrong, but I don't know there. But then you got to look at I feel they did get a good return for the guys they got rid of. The problem is they're all rentals, so they weren't going to get top of the line prospects. You're going to get mid-level prospects because every team's trading to rent these guys for 3 months. So to me, I feel like if management knew this was coming, why didn't they do it early in the season or not, or even last season where they still had a year control on these guys and could have got top players?
Well, early in the season, the Cubs were winning.
I know, but yeah, I just feel like they admitted they were already going to do this early in the season, and then they started winning, and they were like, well, let's hold off. And everybody was just waiting for the shoe to drop, So I don't know. What's that say?
Victor said, well, they're going to rebuild around in half.
Hey, I like Hap, but I don't know if I'm gonna invest in the rebuild around him. That's gonna be a rough
But you know what? I know it's sad, but there is one guy that they could be looking at to get on the offseason. I just found his card recently, and this is somebody the Cubs could really probably put in there. He puts on a great show, and he's going to be able to really.
You said Kikuchi card up right now. I'm going to punch you in the throat.
No, it's way better than Kikuchi. But this guy, he is a surefire Hall of Famer.
What the hell is that? Is that Ric Flair?
San Diego
That's
chicken.
a San Diego chicken.
San Diego chicken.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looked like Ric Flair.
Woo! So
Yeah.
what about you? You know, Mark. We talked a little bit about the Cubs a lot right there, and about the market when it comes to like Ichiro and the Yankees and all that. I mean, you're a New York Mets fan. Do you see a premium on Mets players when they show up there from other teams? Do you really see any of that, or it's not the same effect even if they are pretty popular? Like Lindor was already huge before he came over to the Mets. So do you see much of an uptick in his cards or what?
When Lindor signed, yeah, there was an uptick in his cards, but then he's been playing crappy, so he's really leveled off. Am I frozen?
You are.
Yes.
I thought you were just really good at.
I know. I thought we were
I
playing the staring game. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just gonna stare really. Don't blink. Don't blink first. So while Mark getting himself figured out here,
on my phone.
Oh, there you. Okay, are you back?
Yeah. I don't think I froze.
I'm telling you.
What in the MSNBC is happening here?
I don't know. On my phone, I'm not frozen, but on the screen.
Oh my gosh! I'm telling you, those hamsters fell off that wheel. Oh my gosh!
I don't know what's up with my Wi-Fi.
I don't know either, dude. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all right, man. I just want to make sure I was just talking to your very steady self, looking intently into the camera. So while Mark getting himself figured out over there, Ray, let me ask you this. So obviously I haven't been paying attention at all during the market this whole year, basically. Have you still been collecting Ichiro? And if you have been, what's the market look like for him in this past 6-7 months, since, basically the beginning of the year, let's say? Has it been crazy? Just your thoughts. What have you seen?
Yeah, it was, it's funny. I did a top 50 video, based on price, and I've never done that before. Contemplated taking it down, but I did it just for me. I've started putting together a spreadsheet, and I'm like halfway done, but I need to do more on top of that. But it was a way for me to reflect. If I go back and look at that video, what's happened, where things were, and so I kind of used it as such. And I did that video, and I did that I wanted to do it around New Year's. Like it was a week or two after in January, and that's when things really went crazy. And just based on the prices I gave, everything was up about 20% across the board on everything I had in the top 50. So it was nuts. It's come down a little bit now, but it's new norm. It's not as low as it used to be. It's not high as it was, but it's like kind of right now in a sweet spot right now.
So what do you think about that, Sean? Like, obviously you're talking about you're frustrated over the last, half a year basically, but the prices, and Ray even alluded to it with this Ichiro. And I know he collects more than this Ichiro, but that's like his focal area. But you were saying that you just get so frustrated. Now I know initially you and I talk a lot off camera, and I know a lot of that was just because you can't find product because it's impossible to find. But you also collect singles. You're a big time rookie card collector, obviously, and things like that. So have you seen at all the market softening? Have you seen any of this, or is this just like keep getting like the nightmare keeps going on? And then, like Ray said, it's the new normal now. Even though things are kind of coming down, they're nothing like they were before.
So it's been the weirdest thing I've seen. So up here in Fort Wayne, you came up here, Jason. We have the Fort Wayne card show. We have Shipshewana card show, both of them within an hour of each other. And they're two pretty good-sized card shows. Now, I would go to one, and it was like, the prices are softening. People were real practical about pricing, moving product, making deals. And then a week later, I would go to the second show, and it's like, oh no, we're high into eBay 3 months ago again. No one's moving. And then I would go on eBay, like using the Rizzo for a perfect example that I talked about earlier, the update.
Sure.
So I've seen a lot of stuff that I'm pursuing, modern and vintage, soften. But over the past probably month, I've started to see things go back up again. So it seemed like I felt like it took a really big drop there for a minute. Like, oh, okay, it's coming back down. I don't think we'll ever see pre-COVID pricing on cards again, at least for many years to come. But I thought we were getting realistic again. And then the last, I don't want to say month, the last 3 weeks, it feels like it's a roller coaster. And I'm seeing things go right back up. I mean, I could be wrong. It may be just a few cards that I'm watching that are drawing attention. I don't know why. But use a perfect example is 1954 Ernie Banks rookie card. So I was watching a couple of those on eBay. And about a month ago, they started to decline again. For like a PSA 3, I want to say, they got down to around $800. And then over the last couple of weeks, started watching, and now they're climbing back up in that $1,200 to $1,500 range again. And I'm like, hey, where I had a PSA 2.5, I bought exactly a year ago, and I paid $450 for it. So I just don't know. I did feel like it was softening and coming back around to normal, but then it just peaked again. I don't know if it's because of the trade stuff coming up, getting close to the end of the season for baseball. I don't collect other sports, so I don't even pay attention to that. But I don't know. I mean, Ray, do you see any of that on your side of it?
Yeah, I've seen, when like Yankees fans said there, I've got multiple people that know I do collect Ichiro and stuff like that, and I follow all like certain auctions because I have a lot of higher grade stuff, just because I just want to keep an idea on the pulse of what his cards are going for and things like that. And every time I turned around, there was a record being set for those cards being sold, and I was just it was crazy seeing anything like it before. But every once in a while I'll still see a card, especially his rookie stuff, that always sells the best. Some people put off in one, and I was talking to the guys that set the National, and he said he's seen a few, but their whole consensus is this stuff just blow up when he gets to the Hall of Fame. They said it's just going to go crazy. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah. And
I can still find deals. You can still find deals. I mean, everything right now is right place, right time. I mean, I found some crazy deals, but it's one of those things. If you find it, you put on it. It's not there if you wait on it.
Yeah, I've found
but I wouldn't overpay for anything. I wouldn't overpay for anything right now.
Yeah, I've bought some things here the last month, and I've came across some really good deals off of like Facebook groups. Ooh, what's that?
Nice.
Is that Carlton?
Yep.
Is that
Carlton?
Steve Carlton rookie.
Nice. 4.5. Nice.
That's a
Very
4.5.
It's pretty.
So how many cards did you sell to get that?
Now guess what I paid for this?
$500.
Hell no.
$125.
Close. Like after taxes and everything is $118.
Okay.
So
nice.
You can still find deals. You can still find deals. And this is an eBay deal. So you can still find deals out there. You just gotta, not easy, but you can find some good stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, that's one of my.
So speaking of deals,
card I picked up here.
Mark, I need some pool host rookies. I know you got some. You're just sitting on over there.
I don't have any.
His stuff went like Ichiro stuff did.
Yeah, it's through the roof.
One of the years where I wasn't collecting real hot and heavy, so I've got like maybe I don't have any doubles.
No.
if I have some doubles, we can make a deal. But I don't have any doubles.
No worries.
Yeah,
I got JT
I want-
looking for some at the National right now for me.
Yeah, I want the Ichiro and Pujols, dual rookie card. I want that one.
Yeah, that one
2001.
skyrocketed over the past couple months.
Is that the top
funny,
traded
that card.
Chrome?
Yeah.
Well, they do the base, the traded, and then
What's
they
that?
have they do the base, the traded, the base, the chrome. Of course, you got the gold, and then they have the retrofractor. And I got lucky with the retrofractor because some guys don't know what that card is. They, a lot of these guys have thrown this stuff in boxes for years, and I got one. Well, I've got two of the retrofractor, but one of it is normal for buy now of $150. I'm like, oh my god! I mean, that card's like $2,000 raw right now. So
Wow.
I jumped all over that. But there was another guy in the Facebook group. I go back at sold items and see what I may have missed, and just kind of see what was sold, and maybe I was already in bed or whatever. And one is sold for buy it now 100. And I'm like, wow. And a guy in one of the Facebook groups posted it, and I asked him, did you snag that off eBay? He said, yeah, I got a great price, and I knew what he was talking about. But they didn't list it correctly. They listed it as just a normal Topps Chrome, not the retrofractor.
Wow.
Like, again, right place, right time, but you gotta know what you're looking for.
Yeah. That's why I would always contact you about anything involving Ichiros. So you're like the Ichiro whisperer. So a Yanks fan mentioned two things just so people who might not be able to see what it is. He said first, February and March pricing was complete lunacy. 92 was at Topps Gold. Shaq was down $10,000 from his peak at 5 months ago. Then he was saying like who the next guy is. He says Miguel Cabrera is up next after Ichiro and like Albert. And I agree with that because Miguel Cabrera, Triple Crown winner. Come on, you know that.
Yeah.
He said he picked up his gold 9 for like 253 years ago. How much is that going for now, Ray? The Ichiro Gold rookie card. Do you know what it's like roughly going for now?
We're looking maybe between 600 and 700.
Sweet baby Jesus.
It's a lot of pesos.
I got
That is a lot of
PSA 9. Yeah, I got a PSA 9 of that card. I mean, I bought it maybe 3-4 years ago for $300. But I wanted a 10, but I just can never find a 10. But I got the 9. I'm like, well, at least I have a higher grade version of that card, and I got some raw ones. But I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
So, Mark, I know you.
Here
What
you
was
go,
that,
Mark.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
You got that one?
I just made a trade with B Roth. I traded him a raw Bowman Chrome 2016 Vladimir Guerrero first Bowman card for a raw DeGrom Topps traded.
Nice.
Yeah, that was I think that was a fair trade for both of us.
Good deal.
But, yeah,
dude,
I
bought
was
this.
hot and heavy after that card.
I bought this card out of a dollar box in 2018. Sent it in,
Nice.
got it graded, got a PSA 10. When I got it back from PSA at the time, the card was going for like $50, maybe $40-$50. And then within a year or 2 years, it jumped up. Now I think it's like $500 or $600, maybe more than that.
Yeah, it's up there right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
crazy.
an awesome card.
Was that Jacob DeGrom?
Yeah.
You'll be able to see this.
I can't see
I'll
it.
show you. You want to see something
Piece of
cool?
spike.
Oh,
It's a
that's
spike
awesome.
from his shoe.
Nice.
Yeah, look how thick this card is.
That's
Look
a
at this,
book,
and
dude.
the
Oh,
spike sticks out. The spike sticks way out
That's
top of
crazy, dude.
Was that
Yeah.
in a
Somebody breaks into your house. They're gonna be like, "We're killed by Ichiro spike card in Florida." They'll be like, "Florida man was killed today by Ichiro spike card."
No doubt.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's got all the
What the heck
dirt
does that
still in
come
there and
out of?
everything. Flawless. Those, I think it's one of the
That's
suitcases.
a short print.
So I've never ripped Flawless. Is it like 3 cards per box or something? Or
I've
That's
never
cool,
done it
Jason. That's a
either.
short
I
print.
want to say you get
Oh,
5 to
thank you. I didn't
7
know that.
cards. I want to say.
Yeah, it's a short print.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
I just look at that and I'm like, how in the heck could that be like in a pack? You know?
Oh, it comes inside the suitcase.
Oh wow.
One of these big snap.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got the Panini sticker on it.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
That's
no
crazy.
one that'll fit. That sucker will fit in.
That's awesome though. I don't think I've ever seen a relic like that.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen one of those either. That's nuts.
I think they started doing those like 2 years ago. I think it's the only one of each row they've ever done.
What's that, Jason?
I got 2 Mets autograph cards I pulled back in the day. I don't know. They're probably suck, but I got them in here somewhere. So how much is something like that?
One of the long relievers.
What is Seth Lugo? You said?
Yeah, he's decent. He's one of our long relievers. He's pretty good.
Good deal. So how much is that kind of? How much does the Killer's fight card go for, Ray? I mean that has to be pretty rare.
There's 13 of them.
15, and you said about 500.
Yeah, or up. There's another one that's got listed. It's funny. I don't think it's that exact card, but I made a deal with the guy on eBay for that card and got a decent deal. What I thought was a decent deal, and man, I waited and waited, and it was like a week. He didn't no contact or anything, and then I waited like a few more days. I think I actually had to wait like almost 2 weeks, and then opened up a case with eBay and everything. And then I started looking at the guy's feedback. He must have went through a stretch where he listed a bunch of things and didn't ship anything. So I ended up getting my money back, but I was disappointed because I didn't know when or if I would see that card again, and what that when I did find it, what the price would be then.
Sure.
I did pick up my my first LeBron rookie the other day. It's pretty BA.
Sorry. I like what you did there. I was like, seriously, dude. I was like, I know you privately off this thing, and I'm like, did you really do that, man? I'm ready to kick you from the round table. I'm like, you're gone.
Hey, I spent a solid $5 on this one LeBron rookie at the show.
I'd rather buy that LeBron for sure.
But hey, I got to jump off. My phone is at 2% right now. So.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for hopping on, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. It's good talking to you guys, man. Hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
See you, Sean.
All right, take care, buddy.
All right,
Take care, Sean. See you, bud. So, Yanks fan mentioned 2001 Upper Deck Ichiro Star rookie and a PSA 10 as a major sleeper at 330. Easily a $1,000 card in the next few years. Would you feel like that's probably a pretty fair assessment, Ray?
Yeah. I did a video. I want to say like a year and a half ago. But same thing about the star rookie, like LeBron that we're talking about. Talked about him, but the star rookie is just it's through all the different products. Different sports. If they have the same product through, especially basketball, because basketball a lot of things along with it as far as price goes. So everybody's familiar with the star rookie through football, baseball, and basketball. So I agree with that.
I feel like Ichiro cards are expensive now. I can't even imagine what they're going to look like in another 2 or 3 years. Quite honestly.
Yeah. Especially
because
you like this one.
Oh, that is awesome. Is that a BBM or a Calbee?
It's a Takara.
Oh, Takara. Okay. I couldn't. There's a glare, so I couldn't see it. No. Nice. That is so. What?
Babyface. Second year.
I know he looks like I mean, he just got out of high school like last week.
Yeah, I wish I could get it to focus a little bit. Yeah, but I like that better than his rookie from '93. It's just, you can see his face, and he just looks like he just, right out of high school almost. It's crazy.
Right. Well, what now, Mark? You've obviously just like us been watching baseball forever. So, who do you see now in the current generation? Like obviously I think myself and Ray would agree. I don't know how you would feel the last generation of ball players, Ichiro probably was like an anomaly. That's like probably one of the best baseball players we've ever seen play. Just have so many just things that nobody else has. Do you have anybody you can see the last decade, the last past decade, like let's say something about 2015 maybe or so until now, that you think has a lot of potential to be a really big superstar, future Hall of Famer? Like, guys have already been in the league for a couple of years. Guys that, haven't been here just 1 year, everybody's like, they're going to be a future Hall of Famer. They had 4 months of baseball. But 7 years or so of baseball so far, let's say. Do you see anybody that you're kind of thinking, hey, this guy has a lot of potential to head that direction?
I mean, there's a lot of guys right now. Well, of course, 7 years. Let me see.
Yeah, the last 7 years.
Well, I mean, you got to think about like Mookie Betts would be in there for 7 years. Jacob deGrom would be in there for 7 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nolan Arenado was my pick.
Yeah, he's 2013, so he's a little over, but yeah, Nolan Arenado.
Right.
There's quite a few. There's all kinds of good young players right now. I think they're going to be in the Hall.
Right.
I think. Who else?
I'm trying to think of also who else I'm thinking of.
I'm drawing a blank, but there's lots of them. I recently bought on eBay a Bryce Harper collection. It was 350 Bryce Harper cards. I got it for $55 and $11 shipping and tax. It was like $71 total, but there's 350 cards, and there's some there was 2 of these. This is an SP card. Those go for like $70 on eBay. There's 2 of those. There was all kinds of numbered cards. There's this numbered USA card. You see that?
No.
Hang on. There you go. Check that
out.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, because he's having a down year this year, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer, I believe. I got just all kinds of cards in that. Like I said, 350 of them. I got rookie cards, I got jersey cards, I got number cards, I got cards numbered to 25, I got cards numbered to 50. Like here's one here. This was to 99. Let's see.
Other way. There we go. That's a good looking card, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm now a Bryce Harper super collector, I guess, because
apparently so.
A crap load of his, and I had a bunch of his rookies too. But I think everyone he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think if he keeps it up. But of course, he's been playing more than 7 years.
I'm just saying 7 years is kind of like they've had enough years in the league to actually form a real opinion. You know what I'm saying? Not just a lot of people will be like they played 1 or 2 seasons. Oh, they're the next Mickey Mantle. I'm like, get out of here with that. I hate when people do stuff like that. I know it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. People are talking like
so.
The people are talking about Tatis like that. I mean, he's had a couple good years, but you got to maintain that over a long period of time to be.
He gets hurt a lot. It scares me.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Well, I mean,
Tatis. He gets hurt a lot. It just scares me.
Oh yeah. And in fact,
I mean, honestly.
Go ahead. Really good. His dad was really good for a short time too, so he might be good for a short time. He could end up like a Troy Tulowitzki. It was really good for 8 years or whatever, but not Hall of Fame good.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with that. But people are really hyping him up right now.
Yeah. What up, Chris? Andy and Chris are here. Thanks for popping in, guys. So
what's up, Alex?
Let me ask you this. This is a hot take, but it kind of goes back to what you just said, Ray, and you kind of echoed, Mark, is that like everybody is on the Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle bandwagon, but Mike Trout is always hurt. He doesn't play a full season ever. And I'm like, and everybody's like, he's the next Mickey Mantle and all this stuff. And I'm like, he never plays a full season. I can't think of a time that he actually like played a full season without being hurt and injured. And I'm like, I think that so many people get hung up on that. And I think especially in the hobby community, because people want to have super expensive Mike Trout rookie cards, they keep hyping him up that, he's so he's the Mickey Mantle of, our generation. But I mean, like you said, I'm like, if you keep getting hurt, you can't play a full season. I mean, can you keep saying that about somebody? Like everybody, everybody. I mean, like, I don't know. To me, eventually, you can't keep saying that. Like, just because you say it doesn't mean it's true.
And I think it's hard. I mean, he just go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say I've got his games played up here. So 2011 he only played 40 games. 2012 he played 139. 13 played 157. 14 he played 157. 15 he played 159. 2016 he played 159. 2017 he played 114. 2018 he played 140. 2019 he played 134. 2020, of course, last year he played 53. And this year he's only played 36. So he hasn't been hurt all that much. He's just been on the last, 17
There's 2 seasons.
was hurt.
Yeah, 2 seasons, I believe.
He was hurt. Yeah, 17 and 19 he was hurt. So it's not like he's hurt every year. But I saw a stat, I can't remember how long ago, comparing his first 10 years to Frank Thomas's first 10 years.
Okay.
And they're pretty dang similar if you look you look at that. So he might be a little overhyped when you put it in perspective to about what, because this Frank Thomas's. Let me look at his first year, 10 years, but they're pretty close. From not thinking.
I mean, to compare him to Frank Thomas makes more sense. Like, I wouldn't be so up on that because that makes more sense. But to keep saying he's like Mickey Mantle, I'm just like, that always has set not well with me. I know that like everybody wants to say that, but I think that's because they have so much money invested in him. They want that to be the case, so they have more money they can make off his cards in one day. But I'm like, dude, he is not like Mickey Mantle. I don't get it. I don't get the comparison, but what do I know? The answer is you don't know anything. Those are big shoes to fill, so most definitely. But comparing him to Frank Thomas seems like more realistic.
Yeah, if you look at their careers, I don't have a calculator in front of me, but I'm just looking at Frank's first 10 years and his first 10 years, and they're pretty common. And no one was saying Frank Thomas is the next Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle. They're
right.
They're hyping. Trout is a great player. You can't argue that.
No, of course not. Yeah, he is a good player.
Yeah. It's just if you look at him and Frank Thomas, though, first 10 years is pretty dang close. So, and I don't remember Frank Thomas rookie cards in 2000 going for $3,000 in 10 or anything like that.
No. So
Andy didn't have as many to choose from.
Andy said Trout his averages as of up to today is a 305 batting average, 40 home runs, and 100 RBI season for his career so far.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with that, but that's still. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. But I don't know. For some reason I just don't see it. I don't get it. But whatever. Yeah, that's the only comparison, right, Yanks fan? They're both center fielders. That's about where it stops. Right. There you go. I think Andy said I think it's just because they're an outfielder and they both have some speed, which makes sense.
If I'm looking at Trout, he's only hit over 40 home runs. Where's it at? Twice. He's hit over 40 home runs twice.
The rest of the time he's in the 30s range.
And in the RBIs, he's only been over 100 RBIs 3 times in this 10-year span. But now he's hit 39. He's hit 39. 39 and 36 and 30 a couple of times. That's 3 years. 3 years right there. I mean,
Sure.
He's good. He's good, but
I mean, right. Like I said, I'm not questioning. I feel like people just really put him over more than he really should be put over, quite frankly. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he's not all-star worthy. He's not Hall of Fame worthy, all these things. I'm just saying when people say stuff like he's Mickey Mantle level player, I'm like, I don't think so. I just don't see that, but, whatever. It is what it is. But I do find it to be somewhat interesting that people push that really quite frequently. You hear that comparison quite a bit. So,
in comparison, what I say he's been over 40 home runs twice in 10 years. Frank Thomas, his first 10 years, had been over 40 home runs 4 times.
They didn't call him Big Hurt for nothing.
4 times. So
right.
I like when you show those.
RBIs.
What was that, Ray?
What I say is RBIs. He's been over 100 3 times, and Big Frank was over 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Wow, 9 times out of 10. Shoo.
And I'm saying well over 100. In 2000,
right.
He had 143. In
wow.
97, he had 125. In 93, he had 128, 115, 109, 111. So yeah, there's stats.
Right.
I like when they do those things.
Be better than his first 10 years.
I like those when they go back and compare players to past players. I mean, sometimes you forget just how good players were, like Frank Thomas. I mean, I grew up watching him and, Griffey, and we knew they're good. I mean, they're good. But, when you really compare them to, guys even today or even Albert Pujols, I think a lot of people didn't recognize how good his first 10, 12 years were and what he did,
Yep.
People lost a lot of his respect for him, I think, when he left the Cardinals. So.
And so here's a couple cool things that were brought up I thought I'd share. A fun fact from Yanks fan, when the Yankees signed Mark Teixeira all those years ago, they lost their draft pick to the Angels. The Angels used that pick to get Mike Trout. Just think if he showed up with the Yankees. Cool. That's a cool one. And then from Victor said, and think about this, Big Hurt had his own video game. Where's Mike Trout's video game?
He did.
Yeah, I think it was on the Nintendo, right? Yeah. So Andy says Trout will probably end up with 500 home runs, though I bet his numbers will be similar to Mantle's. That's not to say that he is as popular as Mantle in baseball, in baseball lore, though. That's true. And I mean, like I said, eventually he might get there. That's for sure. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know. I know it's just because I'm not drinking the Mike Trout Kool-Aid. I have never been a Mike Trout Kool-Aid drinker. Not a lot of people are. But I also think a lot of, like I said before, a lot of it's ulterior motives because of, they want their cards to be worth a lot of money because they spend a lot of money to get those cards. No one wants to spend a lot of money and find out they have a really fancy paperweight, a decade from now. So nobody likes that. So I think that's what it really boils down to. So it is what it is. I guess time will tell for sure. So let me ask you this. So is there a player? I know I kind of talked about the Ichiro comparison. Who's a player you really enjoy watching? What about you? Just in general, is there a player you're watching right now playing baseball? No matter if it's his first year or his 18th year, is there a player you really enjoy watching right now for you two guys?
Devers, Rafael Devers.
Rafael Devers.
Yeah, he can hit. I'll tell you, and this is going to sound like totally crazy coming out of my mouth because I kind of poo-pooed him when he first came up and thought he was going to be a flash in the pan, and he still might be, but Ohtani is fun to watch. I mean, that dude can rake, and he can pitch, and he's got some speed. And when he first came up, because all these players from Japan, anytime we get a player from Japan, they all get hyped crazy. Daisuke Matsuki, and then who is the Yankees? There you go.
Hideki Matsui.
Hideki Matsui. Yeah, I mean, and he actually was really a pretty good player. He was a serviceable player, but all these Japan players get hyped like they're the next great thing, and the only one that's panned out that's going to be a Hall of Famer is Ichiro. And then they hyped Ohtani so much, and then he got hurt or whatever. But he's living up to the hype this year. I mean, he's fun to watch. I really like to watch him because when he hits the ball so dang hard, and he was fun to watch in the home run derby too. But yeah, I enjoy watching him.
Yeah, I mean, let me also just to kind of go back with what Mark was saying. Let me ask you, Ray. I know Ichiro's your guy. I collect Ichiro, but do you see that do you see yourself at all gravitating towards like Ohtani as a player to watch since Ichiro's gone? Not that you're going to collect him, not that you're going to like spend all your time and money collecting Ohtani now, but do you find any similarities in the way they approach the game that you can kind of like? Because I know you've talked a lot on your channel about just the way Ichiro played the game and how it's so old school and and all that. And I feel like Ohtani's the same guy. A lot of ways he approaches the game the same way. Do you find that to be something that you enjoy watching about him, or you're just not, he's just, you don't really care. You're just like, yeah, it's cool, but that's not your guy.
No, I mean, like you said, it's funny when, before COVID and everything, we could actually find blaster boxes in Target and stuff like that. I bought stuff back in the day, and I remember pulling some stuff, nothing crazy, but some rookies, and just stashed them in a box. I actually went through stuff last weekend and got some stuff out just to see what I had, because I didn't know all what I had. I had like a Topps SP of him, and it's cool, but I'm not going to actively go out and look for cards of him. But it's just all those Japanese players are so respectful of, and when they come over here, when they talk to the media, and you can tell with him, all the guys when they're asking questions, he understands quite a bit of what's being said, but they want to make sure they absolutely know what's being said, and they don't, speak out of character and make themselves look foolish or anything. But he had talked to, I don't know if you saw him, with Pedro Martinez. He talked with him as translator, and he said, who do you grow up idolizing and watching and things like that. And of course, it was Hideki Matsui, Ichiro. And then he's like, as a pitcher, it was Pedro Martinez. But he's great. I mean, I think sometimes with the pricing, crazy pricing and stuff like that with sports, you need something to kind of break through and bring the fun back to the sport, and he's definitely doing that. I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't think that he's an absolutely amazing thing for baseball right now. I mean,
sure,
everywhere you look, it's Ohtani this. Did you see this? He's at 36 home runs. He's just doing some awesome things, man. I wish him all the best. I think at a point in time they're going to figure out what he's going to do. Is he going to pitch or hit? I just can't see him keep going that way for however he's going to be in the MLB. I just can't see that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that eventually they're going to have to pick one or the other.
Yeah. So here's a stack of Ohtani rookies.
Nice.
So next time we see each other, make sure you get that to me.
So I didn't buy when he came out, and I was kind of poo-pooing him a little bit. Like, all these came from packs. I didn't actively go out and buy his cards. All the ones I have, I pretty much pulled, except I bought a lot. I think it was last summer when he wasn't doing so well, of these, like, really cheap. And then the only other Ohtani card that I have actually bought that I didn't pull from a pack, I'll show you this card. You might know this card, Ray. It's kind of rare, but kind of not. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. It's his team card.
Oh yeah, team set.
They sell the Angels team sets, retail.
Yep.
So, and it's a rookie card, and it's him batting. So I bought 2 of those team sets off of eBay earlier this year for like $9 a set or what.
Nice.
But all the other ones, man, I've just pulled his stuff from packs because I didn't believe in him, and he's proven me wrong so far. He's a heck of a player, heck of a pitcher, just a fun hitter to watch. I really enjoy watching him.
Nice.
I like the swing. That swing is
Yeah,
when he hits the
his
ball,
swing's legit.
Yeah,
dude, he gets a fastball chest high, man. He can just murder that thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Andy mentioned, which I agree with you all, if you all remember, Hideo Nomo, the way he pitched, that tornado approach to pitching. I think Nomo kind of falls in there with a few of the other Japanese ball players, like Hideki Matsui. Like if they would have came over 5 or 8 years earlier, I think they would have possibly had Hall of Fame careers because they were still good. They just weren't good long enough.
Yeah.
I think that Nomo had some really killer years, but then he came over not later in life, and then he ended up going like to every team that would take him at the end, which like kind of like drops your what do you call that, your stock when you're like going to everybody's team and all that. And Matsui was the same way, kind of Ichiro. He gave 10 plus years to Japan. He came over here and he had like 4 or 5 really solid seasons here. But of course he was much older. If he would have came over as a young man, I think he would have had another possibly a Hall of Fame career. But coming over in your 30s, it's totally different than coming over when you're like called up at 22 or whatever.
Right.
So
it's funny.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it.
Talk about Nomo. That's a piece of the base. And then Nomo's on the back.
Cool.
Nomo's
nice.
on the back.
Ichiro. Nice.
That's cool.
Chris said he won an Otani 2018 Topps Chrome Rookie last year, which was thrown in for the main prize. That's cool. Yeah, it's always amazing sometimes when people throw gifts in, when you win something, either on the YouTube, here on the interwebs, like, people do those like contests, and they'll give you things that aren't like hot at that moment, and then they're super hot the next year. Or like if you win something on eBay, people will throw extra cards in there for you. And then you're like, those cards end up being worth more than the card that you bought sometimes.
Right.
Because it was like, oh, these guys suck, So that it's always nice to get those little like, surprises out of the blue.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was gonna ask you, Mark, real quick, if you said that your other team aside from the Mets is the Tampa Bay Rays, right?
Yeah.
So how's the Rays looking this year? Are they contenders? Are they in the hunt?
They're right there with the Red. Yeah, they're right behind the Red Sox in the AL East, and they did pick up Nelson Cruz to help them out for some
from the
power.
Twins, right?
Huh? Yeah, from the Twins.
They got him from the Twins.
Yeah.
Now, are you a Tampa Bay Rays fan at all, Ray? I know you're there in Florida, or do you follow them at all just because they're like kind of local-ish, or no?
Yeah, I watch them. We actually took my son to a game when they played the Red Sox about a month and a half ago. But yeah, I like them. I mean, it's funny. I mean, they don't build these super teams, and they're still right there every year, and I love that. They can pony up with these people spending millions and millions of dollars on these organizations, and they'll still be right there.
Yeah, they're a half game behind the Red Sox in the AL East. So yeah, they're
playing them this weekend. They're playing them this weekend too.
I think the first game was they played. Yeah, they played today. They played them today. They beat them today. Yeah.
Chris is shooting for Nelson Cruz for the Hall of Fame. So
I think he didn't have a PED scandal.
Yeah, I think he did. I think him.
Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think the time will tell when Big Papi goes into the Hall of Fame. If he goes in, which I'm sure he will, and once he gets in, then that means everybody's in. Because you can't. He failed the test like 2 or 3 times. So I mean, if he gets in, then why would you keep anybody else out who had comparable numbers, who got caught up in all that? So, I mean,
I don't think
at that point A-Rod should be getting in, and Barry Bonds and everybody else. Quite frankly, because how can you keep those guys out?
Right.
Because
I think they'll eventually get in. I don't think that they deserve to be in.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that it'll be shocking because everybody loves David Ortiz. I don't like David Ortiz. I think, he has that big smile and he's real, just, that, lovable lunk kind of thing he has going for him. But, I see through all that. To me, I'm just like, this guy, he is whatever. But anyways, regardless of that, I think he's going to get in. I think because he's a modern day player that's well liked and he's still relevant. He's in, he's always on all the Fox programming and all this kind of stuff. And everybody's, he's beloved in Boston. So I don't see him not getting in. But once he gets in, I think that you can't keep other guys out. Yeah, Roger Clemens would fall in that category too, of course. Yeah, I agree, Victor. I don't like David Ortiz either. I actually got a bunch of David Ortiz cards on eBay right now. I'm selling lots of David Ortiz because I don't like the guy. So come check out my auctions. So, what do we got there? Who's that? Is that a Belmo?
Ichiro.
Oh, is that Ichiro? I couldn't. It's kind of a little bit blurry. I couldn't make it out. It was a weird. Yeah, sure enough. That's in Japan, right?
Yeah, All-Star Game '96. He must have pitched in that game for a batter or two, or a third of an inning. I'm not sure, but it's great.
That's
like a
awesome. Ichiro can do it all, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a postcard.
Ichiro can do it all.
Size.
Did you all see that video? I don't know if it's a meme or what, but I don't know if it really happened because I didn't watch the All-Star Game religiously. But maybe you all can tell me this is true or not. But Ken Griffey Jr. sat down and was hanging out during the All-Star Game, during the home run derby, and I'm not for sure, but one of the commentators was sitting next to Griffey Jr. And Ohtani was up swinging and hitting home runs in the home run derby. And one of the commentators goes, "That's the sweetest left-hand swing I've ever seen." And it shows Griffey looking at him like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Right? He's sitting right next to him. And can you all confirm or deny? Did that actually happen, or was that just something that was created?
I don't know. I think it was created. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I can see that. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but Junior was down there on the field hanging out with him. But I don't remember that.
I did see him, and I saw him talking, and he had the headset on, and I know they were like, "Hey, you hanging out with us today or whatever?" They were kind of making light of it, and then Ohtani was batting, and they were talking about Ichiro or something also, and then I didn't hear that part, but they were people were saying the look you give somebody, the look at a Hall of Fame left-handed Hall of Fame a batter gives somebody when they tell him the sweetest left-hand swing that he's ever seen is the guy's next to him, and he's like, "Are you kidding? What? How dare you say that in front of me?"
Right.
Yeah. And then Andy was, oh yeah, here we go. Let's see there's a couple people who also said that. So Griffey was talking, but not sure about that. Okay. So Chris was saying he was, he heard it, but he didn't know that was actually what was the image that you got. Well, because there is an image that made him look he was looking at it. So, and then Junior had the best left-hand swing, in my opinion, what Andy said. I agree. I mean, it looks so effortlessly. I mean, I got to see Griffey when he played with the Cincinnati Reds, which we all know was not the prime of his career, but that swing was still there. And I got to see him swing and hit a couple of home runs at a Great American Ballpark. Dude, it was so nice. And as soon as you heard it, you knew it was gone. Some of those other batters they hit it hard, but it's just a real high fly pop up, that dies right before it gets to the outfield or whatever. And whenever Griffey hit it, as soon as you heard it, it was it's gone. You don't even have to look anymore. You already know it's gone. It was just so cool to see that.
It's made it look effortless.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then Andy mentioned that Will Clark, he thought had the best swing for a right-hander. What do you all think about that? Do you all remember that?
I was gonna say Will. I was gonna mention Will Clark. Yeah, he had a sweet swing.
Yeah. What modern player do you like? I mean, I'll say Ohtani. Who do you think who do you enjoy watching at the plate right now? Maybe we all agree Ohtani. We all talked about him a little bit, but is there another player that you like watching at the plate that you just think that just has a really beautiful swing, or when he goes up there, you're excited about what he might be able to do at the plate?
Acuna.
I think
but he's
Acuna.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Acuna, very exciting. I mean, I was upset when he got hurt.
What about people like Soto and Guerrero Jr.? Do you think, Tatis Jr.? These are guys I know that had kind of like high stock a year and a half ago. Are those guys as exciting as they were supposedly going to be? Or are they kind of like maybe their stocks dropped a little bit? Like, where are they at?
No, they're tearing. Both of them are tearing it
I'm
up
worried.
here. So,
Yeah. Soto, I guess, had a slow start, and then after Soto got out of the All-Star game there, he seemed to pick it up and get back on track. But now you wonder about who's going to be protecting the lineup now they got rid of Trey Turner. I don't know how it's going to affect him.
Yeah, Trey Turner.
Chris. Oh, and Schwarber, yeah. So Chris mentioned Mountcastle he enjoys watching him hit. So I haven't seen. He must be a rookie this year, or like maybe a second-year guy. I don't remember him.
Mountcastle.
Has he been around a while?
No.
Yeah,
is he a rookie this year then?
I think he was in the league last year, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He's got his rookie cards this year, so he was in the league last year.
Okay, so yeah, he's only been around about a year and a half, 2 years then. So he hasn't been around for a while. Are the Baltimore Orioles any good this year? Or are they?
No, they're terrible.
Man down.
But
man down.
Terrible, but
I
they
know.
got some up-and-coming players.
Okay.
Cedric Mullins, the leadoff hitter for them, he's really good. And then, of course, your boy Mancini. He's going to win Comeback Player of the Year because he was out last year with
Trey Mancini.
Yeah, and he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. He's a good player, and then Mountcastle is pretty good. But
yeah,
they're terrible.
Chris said that Ryan Mountcastle will be able to get Rookie of the Year this year. He thinks like he has a good chance of getting it. I don't know if you all agree with that. I have no dog in that fight, considering I have no idea what's going on. And plus, it's the American League, so it doesn't even go against. So yeah, but yeah, man. So, are you excited about the season coming to a closing down? Are you excited about what the playoffs might look like? Are they doing the playoffs the same as they did last year? Mark, do you know?
No, they're not the expanded playoffs now like they did last year now for the regular.
So they're going back to the traditional way
with the wild card. Yeah, pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's good for baseball? Do you like it that way? Do you like it the way they did it last year? What's your thoughts? Both of you.
I like it the way they did it last year, and the reason why they didn't do it like that again the way this year is because the Players Association, and you're not going to like this, Jason, didn't like it because it diminishes the value of the free agents when more and more people get into the playoffs. So I think that diminishes the value of the free agents. I don't see how because more teams get in, so you don't have to have that big name player to get in if more teams get in. So players don't think that the teams are going to pay up for big money free agents when so many teams get in. When a lesser amount of teams get in, you got to have a stacked team. You got to have that big player to make an impact to get in. So that that's their thinking anyway. But I thought it was fun when more teams went there. What did you think about that, Ray?
I liked it. Every year you always hear about, when's Mike Trout going to make it in the playoffs and stuff like that. So, did they make it last year? Or did they miss? I know they were close. I can't remember if they actually got in, but
I don't think they got in. I think
it was hyped. Yeah, I think everybody's hyped up about that. But I don't know. It just makes it more entertaining, seeing more teams in there, and you never know. All it takes is one team that nobody's expected to get on a roll and go a long way. Mix it up a little bit where you're not seeing the same teams in there.
Sure, one team gets super hot at the end of the year, the other team that's been hot the whole year gets cold, and boom, you have a recipe for a disaster for somebody. But I honestly think, like, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, isn't the NBA kind of like that? They have a lot more teams that get in, so there's a lot more games played. So there's not going to be the same, like, 5 or 6 teams is always in there. I feel like the NBA has a much bigger net that they throw out, so there's a lot more games played with a lot of different teams, and that's what I thought the MLB was kind of trying to do. But I guess since you said it diminishes certain players, you know,
Value.
I don't know, value, they got away from it. That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't
But
watch much football, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't watch it either. I just
Yeah.
remember I thought somebody made a comparison that way. I thought that made sense, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's
It
definitely
won't be the
easier
first
getting
time.
it's easier getting NBA playoffs than it is the baseball playoffs.
That's for sure. That is for sure. Well, hey guys, we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't want to take any more of your all's time. It's getting ready to turn 11 o'clock here. So I really appreciate you all. Thank you also to Sean for popping in and hanging out with us most of the time. I know this was like impromptu, but I really grateful that you all did this. Hopefully, you all had a good time.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, man.
always
Appreciate
have
the
fun.
invite. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. We'll do it again maybe in a couple weeks.
Yeah, anytime
Sure,
you talk
let me know.
about sports and baseball and cards, I'm in.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah,
me too, man. I'm totally into it, man. I'm all about that life. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate everybody hanging out. We'll do it again soon.
All right. Take care. See you, Mark.
Bye.
See you, fellas.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.